Coming up this week on The Week in Business, the National Association of Securities Dealers NASD PLC holds 10th annual general meeting at La Cause Boutique Hotel, Ikoyi, Lagos. Stanbic IBTC Holdings Plc holds grand unveil of fintech subsidiary Zest at the Eco Convention Center, Eco Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. NGX holds closing Gong ceremony and facts behind the listing of the Chapel Hill Denham Nigeria Infrastructure Debt Fund at the Nigerian Exchange Group House, Marina, Lagos. Welcome to this week's episode of The Week in Business, where we share with you some of the major events in the world of business in Nigeria this past week. I am Taiwo Akinawe. It's great to have you join us on the program today. Thank you very much for tuning in. To begin the event highlights for this week is the 10th annual general meeting of the National Association of Securities Dealers NASD PLC, which held at La Cause Boutique Hotel, Ikoyi, Lagos. The AGM was an opportunity to engage shareholders on how the exchange can unlock liquidity in the markets and develop a robust over-the-counter market in Nigeria. The key highlight of the event was the announcement by Mr. Olutola Mobolumi of his resignation as chairman of the board of NASD PLC and the emergence of Mr. Kayode Falowo as the new chairman.
I can attest that the director served self-sacrificially, giving up fees and sitting allowances, and even providing professional services pro bono. My hope is that those who remain on the board will educate those who claim they now control the company that this is a public interest company, and unlike ordinary companies, have fiduciary responsibilities to not only to its shareholders, but the investing public as well. It is not a company in which narrow business interest of a shareholder or a confederation of shareholders can be elevated above the interest of other stakeholders. The broad ownership structure at inception ensured that no shareholder will interfere with management nor hijack transactions to serve its own business interests. I hope the Securities and Exchange Commission and the board of NASD will continue to ensure that. At the board meeting earlier today, I resigned my position as chairman of the board, effective from the end of this AGM, and a new chairman in the place of a new chairman, Mr. Kayode Falowo, has been elected at the board meeting. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Next up is the grand unveiling of Stanbic IBTC Holdings Plc Zest Universe 1.0 multi-rail platform, which held at the Eco Convention Center, Eco Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. The fintech subsidiary Zest Universe 1.0 is a platform orchestrator connecting businesses and lifestyles to payments through multi-rail platforms, e-commerce capabilities, and value-added services. Enjoy.
As you know, Stanbic IBTC PLC, Holdco PLC, has always depended on partnerships. And we consider all our distinguished guests here today as our partners and our supporters and our friends. So I really appreciate your joining us on a busy morning like today. Stanbic IBTC Holdco always says that we want to be, and we aim to be, and stay that way, the preferred end-to-end financial services provider to businesses and persons in our country and in our region. That's our goal. And of course, as you know, we have subsidiaries that are aligned towards this, whether in banking, pensions, insurance, asset management, and so on. Within the group of subsidiaries, it was very clear to us that the group, Stanbic IBTC Holdings Plc group, needs a fintech. Because we thought a fintech orchestrating platforms could help in generating the next growth coming to the financial services sector for businesses, for consumers, for technology developers. And we thought that with our integrated financial services, we are probably one of those in the best position to exploit a fintech for the benefit of the society we serve.
Zest is at the epicenter of everything that we are trying to do going forward. And Zest is focused on delivering a true platform orchestration strategy. There is one thing to be a modular producer within an ecosystem. There is another thing for you to be an orchestrator of a platform. Zest is setting out to be an orchestrator of a platform. Please, a round of applause for Zest.
We want to unveil something on the ground. And if you have your siblings and relations in Abuja at the city gate, in Kano, and in Port Harcourt, they will see Zest there. Victory is a front-end developer. Shedrack is a quality assurance specialist. Osaro is a human capital, human resources business partner. Tochukwu looks after our e-commerce. Augustine works in our growth units. He drives growth. Faith is a UX designer. Isi is a developer. David is a back-end engineer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the unveil exercise that happened here also happened in other locations in Abuja, in Kano, and in Port Harcourt. And so we would now like to watch the unveil in different locations. So please, can we look to the screen while we project that? Thank you.
Now let's go witness the Chapel Hill Denham Nigeria Infrastructure Debt Fund listing on the exchange, which held at the Nigerian Exchange Group House, Marina, Lagos. The event was celebrated with a closing gong ceremony during which Nigeria Infrastructure Debt Fund Management engaged capital market stakeholders through a facts behind the listing presentation.
A few of the things that stand out to me from this listing is that for the first time now we can open up the infrastructure asset class now to retail investors. So if you look at the NIDF today, it's about 100 billion naira worth of market cap is what we have listed today. But maybe 99.9% of that AUM is institutional investors. What this is now opening up is a mechanism for retail investors to invest in this in what is a quasi-safe instrument, even though it's listed as equity. So for many of our intermediaries and for our ecosystem, where we continue to ask this question that what else do we have to offer to investors? I think this is a very big shift now as far as that is concerned. So I really would like to encourage everyone, our intermediaries, our brokers, to learn a little bit more about this, and so that we can offer that to our clients. And then the final thing that I wanted to mention also is back to the subject of innovation. In our capital markets, we really do rely on innovation. And I really want to stress that the exchange is very open to continuous partnerships with many of our intermediaries. I spoke earlier, one of the things that concerns us is because the way we've seen in the last 5 to 8 years, a lot of our intermediaries are no different from the Jackpot syndrome, for example, that we suffer. We've seen lots of people diversify away from our business into other sort of, endeavors like real estate. So we're really open to, intermediaries who are keen to work with us, to invest, to develop the market. You would find a lot of very strong support in that. And I hope that Chapel Hill also can really testify to that. So really glad that you are here with us. We welcome you very warmly. And I think that without further ado, I would like to then invite the CEO of NIDF, Mr. Anshu Rai, to then take us straight into the presentation.
First of all, I just want to go through the specifics of the listing. This is a listing by introduction. NIDF has been around since 2017. It has this 6-year track record. It has paid 24 distribution payments, quarterly distribution payments. It will pay another next week. So there is a long track record behind this, and we're very proud that NIDF will be listed on NGX. NIDF was first for many things back when it was launched in 2016, 2017. And I think it has heralded a significant shift in terms of focus around infrastructure in Nigeria and the importance of local currency. I think today in 2023, we need to think about how NIDF can actually shift the way that the NGX as a market continues to grow. And as I said downstairs, about a third of the FTSE 350 companies in the UK are investment trusts. NIDF operates like a company. We have a fixed number of shares or units. And every time we raise more capital, we increase those numbers of units, and all unit holders have the same exposure to the same portfolio. I should say that we are in the process of raising the 9th series for NGX, and that will close later this month. And I very much hope that this is an opportunity for all of us, not just to look at NIDF as it is today, but also what NIDF will look like after that listing. If you look at what it will look like after that listing, and this is very small type, so I'm going to have to explain to you what's on the page. What this page shows is the largest 30 companies in Nigeria by free float. So by the shares that can actually be traded. And if you look at that, you'll see that NIDF after Series 9 will sit about, I think, 17th on this list, around the same size as NB and Transcore and Gerigu. So I think it's important to mention that in terms of scale. What does NIDF do? We raise capital from investors. Historically, most of that capital has come from the pension fund community, but additional capital has come from insurance companies and foundations and retail, and obviously from our DFI and sovereign wealth fund partners. So from a very wide selection of investors. And then it invests that capital into project finance loans. And those project finance loans have very predictable returns. And we distribute all of the operating income every quarter back to investors. So when Angel takes us through the returns, the returns are very real. You can get to touch them every quarter, and we're paying those distributions to all investors at that time. We invest in assets that you can kick. You can go look at the telecom towers or the mini grids or the ports or the power plants that we're financing. And I think that's an important element of what we do. But in addition to that, there is a sort of ESG and impact focus around what we do, because not only are we generating megawatts or miles or kilometers of roads to travel on, we're also very much improving people's lives and the climate around us. And so I think we're able to measure and operate thinking about both of those things at any one particular point in time.
Returns, the crux of the matter. So 155%, I'm sure many of you have seen this number before, and we have spoken about it previously. This is a combination of the fact of the consistent performance that we have delivered and compounding, which is to reflect that if you gave us 100 naira at the start and then reinvested the distributions that we have made consistently since then your total investment today would be worth 255 naira. Most of it has been in the form of cash distributions, which is what those gray bars show you. And as you can see that it's been, there's a consistent pattern here. And the greenish line at the bottom, that's the NAV, which is the net asset value, or reflecting essentially the price of the units. And that's been very, very steady. And you can see that kind of barely budges. And put together with the 155% return, now this is a very unique combination of very, very solid returns with almost negligible volatility. And that's like the holy grail of investing, the way I've been taught. So I'm very pleased and excited about having delivered that performance. Very quickly, so we have raised capital 8 times before. The 9th series is currently underway. Our investor base continues to grow and diversify. And we are looking forward to welcoming many, many more individual investors into our investor base.
And that'll be all for the event highlights on the Week in Business program for the week. But before we go, let's take a look at the events happening next week. Don't forget to save the dates. Well, that's it on the Week in Business program for today. Thank you very much for watching. For more business, finance, and economy content, follow us on all our social media platforms at WebTVNigeria and visit our website, www.poshare.co. Till next week, I am Taiwo Akinawo. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a fantastic week ahead.